The day I became a monster, I slaughtered my adoptive parents. My brother, Gavin, not only witnessed the murder of the only parents he'd ever known but was nearly killed by my own hands. 10 years later, our paths crossed again. He was a blood hunter, and I was his prey. He pinned me to a bed, his grip like iron. Going somewhere, brother, he growled. I was 11 when my adoptive parents brought me home from the orphanage. That day, I didn't just gain parents, I got a 7-year-old little brother. If only I hadn't saved that man 10 years later. He was a vampire. He said he wanted to thank me by granting me eternal life, so he forced his blood down my throat, driving me into a frenzy. I collapsed in agony while he sat on a nearby chair, a smirk curling on his lips as he watched me writhe. The blood of your loved ones will help you through this, he urged, his voice a hypnotic whisper. Go on, take it. His voice held a power I couldn't resist. My own hands, moving against my will, tore into my adoptive parents. Tears and blood streamed down my face, but I couldn't stop. No, please, no, I begged, but it was useless. That's when Gavin came home. He saw everything. He charged at me like a wild animal. Kaylin, what are you doing? He screamed. With the last shred of my sanity, I threw him out the third-story window. Get out, I roared. The fall wouldn't kill him, but staying here would. After the transformation was complete, that man took me away. When I regained my senses, I swore I would kill him. His crimson eyes flickered with something unreadable. Pity. Perhaps you need time to adjust, he said, his voice softening unexpectedly. I'll come for you when you're ready. I've been hunting him for 10 years. 10 years later, I was lurking in a dark alley hunting rats for dinner. It's the only way. Vampires have to drink from living things. Blood from anything dead more than 5 minutes is like rotten meat. Some vampires break the rules and feed on humans. Others, the rich and restrained, by live poultry. Me, I'm broke and bound by my own rules, so I hunt rats, a small, pathetic contribution to society. Pest control. I never expected to run into Gavin again. After a decade, he was a blood hunter, a silver-laced gun strapped to his waist. Instinct took over. I turned to run, but his team was ready. One of his subordinates dropped from above, a brutal kick sending me to the ground, weak from chronic hunger. I was no match for them. I clutched my head, smearing the gushing blood across my face, anything to hide who I was. Even now, all I could think about was him not recognizing me. The one who kicked me yanked my hair, forcing my head up. The subordinate sneered. Boss, this one's pathetic. You really came out personally for this scum. Gavin slowly loaded his gun. It's your first mission. Part of my job is guiding rookies, he replied, his voice chillingly cool. He pressed the barrel to my temple. Any last words? Under the dim streetlight, my blood-smeared face was a mess, unrecognizable. Just what I wanted. I deserved this. I closed my eyes, ready for the end. None, I muttered, but the shot never came. The hand holding the gun trembled. I opened my eyes and saw a flicker of something break through his cold facade. With his left hand, he frantically wiped the blood from my face, staining his white glove crimson. My pale, familiar features were exposed. His eyes narrowed, but he said nothing. Instead, he punched me hard. I collapsed like a stray dog, my vision blurring as I hit the pavement. When I came to, I was in Gavin's house. My left wrist was shackled to the bedpost with a silver chain, limiting me to this one room. The moment I opened my eyes, I saw him. He was sitting in a chair by the bed, his gaze so intense it felt like it could burn through me. Terrified, I squeezed my eyes shut, praying it was a nightmare. Awake and still pretending. His voice was ice. I'm not awake, I mumbled. Oh, really? A long silence followed. I risked cracking one eye open and met his cold, unyielding stare. 10 years had made him far more intimidating. I did some digging, he said, his voice dangerously low. The vampire at our house 10 years ago was Vess, one of the first. Why was he there? Kaylin, because I was stupid enough to save him, but I couldn't tell him that. Gavin's eyes glinted. Tell me, why did you become a vampire? I lifted my head, meeting his gaze. The truth caught in my throat. If Gavin knew Vess had forced me into this, had destroyed our family, he'd hunt Vess down himself, but Vess was too powerful. Gavin wouldn't stand a chance. He'd be throwing his life away. I couldn't let that happen. I cleared my throat and began to lie. Eternal life. Isn't that what everyone dreams of? I begged Vess to turn me. You're lying, he snapped. Why would I lie? Look at me. I was 21 then. I'm still 21 now. This is exactly what I wanted. Impossible. His pupils trembled, his jaw tight. Kaylin, do you hear the shit you're spouting? I sat up straight. Of course I do. Don't like it. You always hated me, didn't you? Thought I stole your parents' love. Well, here's your chance. Kill me. Get your revenge. Let him kill me. I owe him that much. It's just a shame I never got my own revenge on Vess. He hesitated, the words seeming to catch in his throat. When did I ever hate you? He asked quietly. I reminded him. That time I came home from basketball, covered in sweat. I just wanted a quick rinse, but you were in the bathroom and wouldn't let me in. When relatives visited and mom said we had to share a bed, you chose the floor. You hated me. You kept your distance, pushing me away with that cold act. His expression froze. So that's what you've always thought. He let out a bitter, self-mocking laugh. The warmth in his eyes vanished, replaced by an endless, spreading frost. I saw you as my family, so I hid my own fucked up feelings. But you, even now, you can't say a single honest word to me. What the hell was he talking about? Suddenly, he started taking off his clothes, alarmed. I tried to scramble off the bed, but he pinned me down easily. His warm breath ghosted across my ear. Brother, you're not getting away. And he was right. I couldn't. I hadn't fed in days, maybe weeks. I was weak, chained, trapped, but he couldn't do this. He couldn't touch me like this. Gavin, you do this, and I swear I'll bite you. I warned. He didn't care. Go ahead, he taunted. Before I could react, he bit down on my shoulder. That night, we were both damned. The next morning, Gavin was gone when I woke up. I couldn't count how many times it happened. All I remembered was him moving like a feral beast. I never knew he saw me that way. When did it start? When did my little brother start looking at me with such dark, possessive hunger, dragging my aching body? I hid in the closet and shut the door. Since becoming a vampire, tight, dark spaces like this were the only places I felt safe. I felt like I'd changed so much, yet nothing had changed at all. He returned at noon. He followed the silver chain and found me in the closet easily. He just stood there in front of it, silent. Finally, he pulled out a dagger and sliced open his palm. The sweet, metallic scent of fresh blood filled the air. I almost lost control. He collected a cup of of his blood and placed it in front of the closet before leaving the room. The moment the door clicked shut, I scrambled out and drank it in one gulp. I couldn't let it go to waste. Strength surged through my body. The moment he was gone, I used my claws to sever my own wrist, breaking free from the silver chain. The pain almost made me black out, but my healing was already kicking in. I forced my severed hand back into place and fled. I couldn't stay there. The farther I was from Gavin, the safer he'd be. We were never meant to meet again. I never expected to run into Vess the moment I escaped. His skin was still deathly pale, his crimson eyes locking on my mangled wrist. Who did this? He asked, his voice laced with a cold fury. Ignoring the pain, I lunged at him. 10 years of pent-up rage exploded, but he sidestepped my attack effortlessly. 10 years, and this is how you greet me, he teased. He took a light step back, putting distance between us. Such a naughty child, I panted, furious that even now I couldn't touch him. If I couldn't avenge my parents, what was the point of my existence, and how could I ever repay Gavin? Vess, I will kill you, I swore. He tilted his head, a faint, lonely smile on his lips. That's a hurtful thing to say. He looked genuinely hurt. What right did he have to be hurt? I was the one who had suffered. I lost my family, lost everything, all because I made the mistake of saving him. I took a deep breath. This ends with one of us dead. The wind rustled his silver hair as he stood motionless. You still don't understand, do you? He murmured, his coat whipped in the breeze as he approached, exuding an aura of absolute control. I didn't hesitate. I lunged, tackling him to the ground, straddling him. I wrapped my hands around his throat. He didn't resist. Instead, he smirked, grabbing my hand and pulling me down, guiding my face to the pulsing vein in his neck. His voice was a seductive whisper. Want a bite? I swallowed hard. Against my will, I sank my fangs into him. The taste of his blood was intoxicating. For the first time, I felt my own greed, but Vess suddenly stopped me, his hand gripping the back of my neck, pulling me away. His face was flushed, his breathing ragged. He seemed to be fighting for control. Careful, little one, he warned. Any more of that, and things might get out of hand. I realized then that my bite, it aroused him. No one had ever told me that could happen. I slapped his hand away and scrambled to my feet. My wrist, it was completely healed. Had he let me bite him just to heal me? The thought was maddening. I glared at him as he lay on the ground, catching his breath. I'm not grateful. You didn't have to do that, I snapped. He didn't get angry. He just sat up with that faint smile I wanted to. In the next moment, his carefree expression vanished, replaced by a frosty glint in his eyes. He stood up, his gaze locking on something behind me. We have company, he said. Gavin emerged from the shadows. His face was a mask of ice. You ran away just to team up with him, he accused.